What's up with it, world? Science 93 99. Floyd Board, St. Louis. You know what it is. I love my city. We got it going on. Plus, we grind every day. Got them cards. We even got the blue, block to block, corner to corner. You know how we do it. Grind every day. That's what it is. I call it home. Floyd Boy, I miss you, drop. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my home. 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 St. Louis, my home. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my home. St. Louis, my home. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my home. St. Louis, my home. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my city. St. Louis, my home. St. Louis, my home. From the city where the good die young. Where it's easy to catch a slug in a hood play dumb. Where it's easy to catch a case anytime, any place. And real can relate to all the hate and the fake. How much money can I make? How much
Welcome to Whose Mic Is This, man? We are turning up on Super Bowl motherfucking Sunday. I got my mans in the place, Dustin motherfucking Diggs.
Oh, yeah.
What up, brother?
What's up? Hey, thanks to everybody that's probably turned their Super Bowl off just to check out this podcast. So, all those people that are interested in football like myself, I'm not really a big football person. Sports person, I played hockey. Did you? Yeah, but that's about it. Yeah, I'm not a big sports person. So today's not really a big day for me.
Yeah. It ain't really for me either, man. I'll be so into what we got going on that all that other shit don't even. Right. It's not excited no more, man.
Yeah.
Some of it ain't.
Right. I want to have my own Super Bowl. I have my own Super Bowl kind of event. You know what I'm saying? So,
man. All right, man. But on Whose Mic Is This? This your first time on Whose Mic Is This, man? On this podcast, we try to get all the way into your business, man, from the beginning to just how you're thinking about situations now. So it's only trivial, you know. We should start off with your youth, man. So what high school you attend?
I went to Francis Howell District, and then when I was a freshman, I went to Francis Howell North, and then a new high school was built. That's the suburbs of St. Charles, and then I actually switched high schools my sophomore year. So I grew up up in the burbs in the old St. Chuck.
So Francis Howell, where is that? Is that off 94?
Yeah, it's down 94, kind of by more like was it Calville and St. Peter's, out that way, kind of by the St. Charles Arena.
Okay.
Weldon Springs.
Weldon Springs, yeah, that's where it's the military, Air Force. I think not Air Force, but the National Guard. Yeah,
they
out there.
They used to have some secret shit going down there at one time. I thought.
Yeah, it's a waste field over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's by the one high school, Francis Howell, which is not the high school I went to, but there's a mound of rocks. People shoot, like Preach shot his music video there. All kinds of musicians in St. Louis shoot there all the time on top of this big mountain of rocks where it's covering up nuclear waste.
Yep. So now y'all know if you didn't know. All right, man. So talk about your favorite childhood moment.
Favorite childhood moment? That got me kind of started in what I'm doing now. So back when I was 8 years old, 9 years old, I grew up. A lot of people were like, "Oh, you grew up in the suburbs, so privileged or whatever." But we were really like low suburbs, like poor. My mom hardly worked just because of her medical issues, and my dad, he worked a full-time job, but. We didn't really have much money because also I have two older brothers and an older sister. So my favorite childhood memory is when I was 8 years old. I was going through Toys R Us, and I saw this Fisher Price camera. And on the Fisher Price camera, back in the day, it was black and white. It would record to a cassette tape.
Oh.
And it was like $120, and back then that's 1988, and that's still a lot of money.
That is a lot.
And
God damn.
I would always talk about that camera and stuff, and I didn't think I was going to get it, but my parents surprised me and bought me that camera, and then when I got that camera, that's when I started making movies around the house. We started doing the Matt Letterman show when I was a kid. I burned most of those tapes, by the way, because but that's kind of like what really got me into what I'm doing now, like chasing this crazy dream. And so I always joke with my parents, I'm like, well, I wish you would have bought me like a doctor's set. I probably would have been more successful than I am.
It's all good, man. So, as a child, who was your idols? Like, who did you look up to?
I looked up to my brothers, and I think when my older brothers looked up to them, and I think what kind of kept me out of trouble when I was in high school, a lot of my friends started doing, like, ecstasy was a big thing when I was in high school, and everybody started doing kind of like the rave drug scene, and I kind of was kind of straight edge that I didn't, I drank a little bit, smoked a couple cigarettes here and there, but like I kind of was focused on, I just wanted to get out of St. Louis, and I was always wanted to go to film school, and I was trying to go to film school in Chicago, which I ended up doing for a semester, but to go back on your question, my brothers is kind of like, I think how they were, I looked up to them, and so.
Okay. So So you, as far as theater, like, or sitcoms or anything like that, who did you like?
Oh, man, I was a fan of, it was probably like TGI Friday. I love Family Matters, and I loved Perfect Strangers, Hogan's Family. I used to, I'll tell you, the show I used to relate to a lot. I just rewatched it all, the Wonder Years back in the day, because I was the same age as Kevin Arnold, and I felt like the shit going on in that show was happening to me in real life, and so I really enjoyed watching that show. It's something I actually would sit down and watch with my dad.
Okay. So. All right. Before we go on this break, man, what would 2023 be for you?
We're doing Failures. We're jumping into the film game, and we're going to be doing 3 episodes of Failures this year. I put everything else on pause, and I'm focused directly on doing a show called Failures. All day, every day. Before we go to this break, man, I got to ask you, man. You got to tell the people, whose mic is this? Tweezy. It's Tweezy's mic. Oh, it's my mic. Your mic, man. Yeah, Dustin Diggs. Yeah. All day, man. We'll be right back on Whose Mic Is This? I like that.
16-hand ring. You a fool, nigga. You know I had to go get the steppers, right?
We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God. We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God. In the beginning that was life, so I was let's be friends. But at the end of the night, it was by my ends. I'm on the ground with my grind. You play tonight as I'm great. The only thing you can do is up the level on hate. Trump supporters want to clean our plates. Disguise debate, killing delay. We on the slate team, and we ain't talking about holidays. Not for gunplay, but money making every way. But if you wanna take it thorough, we can make it rattle. We prepare the cattle, and we are best at battle. They said was gossip when you brought me in this, but it's my everyday struggle that got me this. It was my mama on welfare, my daddy on crack rock. The grind don't stop. I was raised by hip hop. This one for the culture, black excellent hood nurture. We was raised with virtue. It's our time to take over. God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God.
Track the side of lines then, put the paper to pen. We form Voltron, legal women and men. Destroying competition with a devilish grin. Set the pace in the race, cause we winning again. We the best, Midwest, house blessings bestow. Dominate the interstate, so these suckers will know. You can't penetrate or integrate, the dungeon is closed. Okay, we liquidate, now you're living exposed. Technique, when we speak, rap rugged and raw. Transparent and translucent, going bar for bar. Right, like 2 wheels on the back of a car. Like tight, like vice grips on the lid of a jar. We haven't sent, pay the rent, courtesy of the team. It's inevitable, how we severing dreams. It's commendable, how we stepped on the scene. We separating God shit from your devilish schemes.
We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God.
It's no escape, it's such a world we made for hate. War after war, so tell me how many lives it would take. My heart shake, I feel the presence of Yahweh. In the flesh, an image of myself today. What is fate, when only thing is promise is death. What's left, the visions of my dream coming true. I live it too, cause people don't believe that I can graduate simply from a boy to a man. Be great, something like MJ in his prime. Out of my mind, surely I didn't have my times of great morning. Is that really hard to find? What a question. I know I'm really wrong in this rhyme. I'm ahead of my time. Yeah, the whole world is mine, and I'm thugging. People hate the fact that I love it. Hustling, gotta get the money cause I need it. Believe me, can't get enough cause I'm great.
We talking God shit. Who you with when life is limitless? You built the script simultaneously while you lift the gift. Trust and only I can get us out this hill.
What's that you talk?
You know we only talking God.
Yo, I've been waiting for a way to let you know I believe. So many years I had struggled, got my heart on my sleeve. All my progressions are transparent, all my flaws you see. But God cut me down like a knife. Put my dreams on hold, took my sister's life. Yet I continue to defy you, though I knew I should quit. And to acknowledge this ain't me, this is God shit. I know you worry about the language that we use in this name, but God shit is what you need to keep your head in the game. And through the heavens when you hurt and got you down on your knees. Get your mind off man, put your soul at ease. You having problems in your circle, wanna give up and quit. This is the message, just receive it. This is God shit. I'm holding on to your word, Lord. I'm ready.
Yeah. We are back on Whose Mic Is This? We got Dustin Diggs in the place, man. We finna get right back into the questions. Dustin, man, tell us about your favorite character that you played.
Well, my favorite character I play is Dustin on Failures, and I came up with the name. I think Dustin Diggs back when it was like 2003. We were making an action movie. Right after we did this show called Suburban Times, we did this action movie, and I was going to play a drunken kind of homeless guy that was like really good at sword fighting. And the show was called The Watchers, and so basically there's people that have had like mages powers, like Lord of the Rings powers, and then there's people that are from like outer space that came in, so they had all the technical powers, and then the two would fight it. So it was a really cool concept of this show idea we had, and I was going to play one of the characters that was a drunken sword fighter. So I started kind of developing this character over time, and then it also helped that I go out drinking and get drunk, and so I kind of from seeing bar stories and other people at bars as well as my self experiences, I kind of cultivated into this character Dustin on Failures. And so when my buddy came up with this idea, he's like, I want to put Drunk Matt in this show. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, here's the thing. I could play drunk for a character. It's going to go good for maybe a couple scenes, maybe a whole episode. But if I'm going to do a whole series, I'm like, the guy can't just be drunk every fucking scene or he's going to get real old to the audience. So I was like, well, we need to do have him kind of like homeless or have him some kind of drug addict. So he's on different drugs, and so he acts different at different times. So it's more of a diverse kind of character than just one dimensional. This guy's fucking drunk all the time.
Yeah.
And so that's the type of character we kind of developed for the show, and I had a really good time doing that back in 2012. We shot that show.
Okay, well, talk about what you were talking about before, the aliens and all of that shit, the powers. What was that again?
So it was called The Watchers. I mean, this is on the bucket list, folks. If this Failures thing takes off with my buddy Clayton over here, he's my new executive producer, partnered with me. But so it's the show about, so there'd be people that have like technology powers. So they have like these phase guns, these different types of force fields, these different things that are all like technical powers. But then they're against this other group that, they're like mages, and they have like spell powers of like old like historic powers that, witches and warlocks and shit like that.
Okay. And so it's called The Watchers.
It's called The Watchers.
Okay, all right.
That's back in 2003, so I think there's already movies called The Watchers or whatever. But,
I have seen it.
Yeah.
I think, no, Watchmen.
That's it, The Watchmen. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. So, how many films have you played in?
Wow. Let's see, 1, 2. Well, if you count the skits as separate films, it's probably over 20, 25. But if just films itself, shows and things, probably like 7 or 8. Okay.
How long you been doing it?
Been doing it since, when I first started, I acted a little bit in the show when I first started 2002. But I had to do a lot of the camera work then. But as technology progressed and people around me started knowing how to use the camera, I was able to get more in front of the camera with stuff. So about 20 years now.
All right. Congratulations, man. You on your LeBron shit.
Yeah.
All day, every day. So in what you doing, what does success look like to you?
You know what? That's kind of like changed throughout the years of what I thought success is. I think if it's something that fulfills you, like I'm not a very successful person as if you look at my checkbook, but one thing I will say about myself, and I not want to talk myself up, but I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of connections, And I think that's it just matters how one person measures success. But I think, for me, having the right type of people around you, the right type of friendships, and again that fulfillment of being able to create every day, I feel like I'm successful.
All day. I like that answer. That's a wonderful answer, man. Yeah. Shout out to Justin Kiggy. Every time he come through, he switch some shit up and just make shit a little bit more, make you have to think about some shit, man. So my normal sound effects ain't on here today,
I enjoy
but they're
claps,
on
so that's
there. All day, every day, man. How do you feel about remakes?
It just depends. Like, it just depends on what type of remake. Like, I watched the Footloose remake, and it was like exactly shot by shot of the old movie from the '80s. So I mean, what's considered a remake? If you're gonna carbon copy the same fucking film, or is it gonna be something that you kind of put a spin on it, but maybe make it modern times? I think that's a little bit better of a remake. So I like remakes depending on what they do with it.
Okay, all right. What's the best remake you ever seen?
Oh shit. Man, I don't know. Something.
You seen Total Recall remake?
Yeah, I didn't like the Total Recall remake. That's one I didn't like.
What was the other one?
Man, I know. A Star Is Born. That's a good remake.
The Star Is Born?
Yeah, with Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. And I watched. There was one that had Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson in the '70s, and I think that one's kind of not really my cup of tea, but I liked what they did with A Star Is Born.
Okay. So you do like you like some remix, cool. I mean, I said remake because that's kind of what it is in music. Is a remix.
Yeah.
But remakes, I think like Total. What was the RoboCop one? I think the RoboCop remake I liked that one because it was only one. It was way more than one RoboCop. It was like 4 of them. Wasn't it?
You. But see, for me, it's like I remember as a child seeing RoboCop in the theaters, or I remember seeing Total Recall on DVD or VHS when I went. So I have that like kid nostalgia kind of connection to those movies. So for me, it's hard to when you see a remake because it's kind of like you don't have that same kind of feeling when you were a kid watching it.
Yeah. Well, that's why I said with me, I did though with Total Recall.
You did? Okay.
Well, no, not Total Recall. I didn't. Total Recall was cool, but I didn't. I'm like you on that one.
Yeah.
But RoboCop, what happened with them was when he came back to life and was that fucking whatever he was and saw himself. They didn't show that on the. I mean, I guess they kind of did on the old RoboCop, but not like that.
Yeah, well, they kind of, if you watched the trilogy back in the day, they did dive more into that type of character in like the second one, but not in the first one. It was
it would, so, but that's the only thing though. But it definitely wasn't. It's definitely a disconnect from when I was younger than what I saw then.
Right.
But that part did get me. I'm like, damn, I didn't trip off of it like that when I was a kid.
Right.
Like he was straight dead and was like he wasn't even a human. Like, man, could you imagine waking up and seeing yourself like that, man?
No.
Like, kill me.
With a robo penis. They should make that's the remake they should make. A porn version of that with the robo penis. That would be one I would watch.
Man. All right, man. We about to go to another break, man. We are here with my peoples, but I want you to tell them again, man. Whose mic is this?
Dustin Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right.
bitch that call me daddy, and she keep me more than happy, living out my life like a movie. Stacking, big dog macking. I make chances, nigga, you capping. No entertainment, nigga, no acting. I hit the booth, bust a jug, we acting. You laughing, cause you a goofy. I get paid straight cash, all loosely. We independent, straight living, we Gucci. Gas pack rolled up like sushi.
Like that jail.
I've been chasing the finer things while rolling around strapped up. 6 shot off in my jacket, hoping nobody act up. I'm chasing this money, nigga, don't need no advance. Put that wop in my hand and watch me grow like a plant. Some shit they won't understand, but that's cool. Dream team, white tee, bucket had no juice, but I might slide on some gold just for the pressure. A young nigga going in and I can't let up.
I was riding through the motherfucking loop. Got a call from my motherfucking boo. Came out ass fat, wearing blue. Damn, I'm feeling all this thunder, Pikachu. Say she want her stomach done, her ass too. But these hating fuck niggas watching moves. I'ma get that shit done, little boo. Cause I keep this 30 on me, so we cool. I was riding through properly, getting domo so sloppily. Need a freak who got wild for me, off the chain like a dog with me. If you brother, then fuck with me. You believe in me, trust with me. You got static, it's up for me. Ain't no talking, don't fuck with me. Niggas talking out they guns, but it's cool. They just talking, they ain't touching, so we cool, fucking fool. Posting stack on the internet, baby mama ain't feeling that. Baby daddy back in town, dummy fool. I was riding through the motherfucking loop, and I was riding, getting head from a free. Yeah, I'm true. I'm getting down. North Heads, yeah, you know that be the team. North Heads, baby girl, she gonna suck the da. Baby free, and she know that I like. She know I like. Yeah, I love the guns, baby. Please don't bite it. Please don't bite it. Why you riding fast, baby? Too excited. Yeah, I like it. Hey man, yeah. All I'ma say is this: we done talking in motherfucking 2020. All you motherfuckers who didn't believe in this shit, who didn't believe in the dream team, who didn't believe in the North Head brand, fuck y'all niggas. And fuck y'all bitches too, motherfucker. And fuck your friend if they don't believe in it too. And motherfucker, fuck your mama. Yeah, I'm all for the black and proud, but if you ain't for the black and the proud, guess what? Fuck you too. You already know what it is. It's Danny motherfucking G, and I stand on everything. I love.
Yeah, we back popping. Here we go on Whose Mic Is This, man. We're here with Dustin Diggs. We been talking some good shit, man. We got to talk about some things. I put out that you was gonna be here, so man, I always get somebody. I'd be like, "What you want to ask, Dustin?"
Okay.
I got him coming in. What you want to ask him? And one of the questions was, what do you have to say to your haters?
You know what? This has progressed, or it's got a lot worse. I don't know. I try to get along with everyone, but there's just people. I'm just gonna say, man, there's just people that they just don't fucking mix, and so I have a list of like 7 people on my list, and it's not like if I saw them walk in the door right now, I would be mad at them or anything. I would be cordial with any of these people. I'm just like, these 7 people not come around because they're kind of like alcohol. I always refer to them like alcohol. They're just toxic to consume, and so and I try to warn kind of people. They ask me straight. I don't first off somebody. I don't just say, hey, this person, you shouldn't work with this person. If I get asked about these people and they're on my list, I say, look, you do what you want to do, but I've had some issues. And I don't go in details of the dirty shit I had with these people, but you know, to be honest, we've had people trying to flag the Arch United page and stuff, and what that makes me do is I'm just going to keep working because I will outwork them, and they can come wake up at noon every day and flag all of our posts if that's what they want to do, but what they really should do is do something productive. Why don't you beat me on the scoreboard? Why don't you go out and do your own network or podcast or whatever, and instead of trying to like sabotage what we're doing. I just don't understand people's motives with that. I just it's such a waste of energy. Like, I'm not going to sit there and reach out to these people's friends and try to sabotage whatever they're working on. I just feel like I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, and in the end I'm going to win. So
Right. I don't get that either, man. It's kind of I don't know if it's something in the water or something like that.
well, I always done podcasts at my house, and that's one of my questions too. And when people go out of town, they're always like, "Oh, it's not like that in other places," but then I hear it is. So I think this is anywhere. You live in Hollywood, you live in Vancouver, New York. This shit happens probably anywhere, man.
Yeah, I think it's more people try to be all nice and oh well, no, it's not like that for everybody. So you have to get along. You got to be, you know what I'm saying. Everybody not gonna mix.
Right.
We got to understand that sometimes, man. So all you fucking haters, you heard what he said, man. Find you some business. Shit. All right, man. Who are your top 3? And I'm talking about, I guess, Universals. Who are your top 3 actors or actresses?
Like, that's big time that I don't know personally.
Correct.
I love Daniel Day-Lewis. That's my number 1. Michael Fassbender, another one, and Woody Harrelson. That sounds kind of chauvinist, folks, but that's what it is. It's those 3 guys. Okay?
All right.
Denzel's good, and Jamie Foxx and stuff, and even Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt. They sometimes have some good roles and stuff, but those are my top 3.
What about top 3 women?
Women? I'm just kidding. God, what's the lady's name from? It's from Empire. I think she's amazing. Like she's amazing from the show Empire. I cannot think of her name.
Man, that's messed up. I can't either.
Amy Adams is good, and then oh God, what's her name? I used to have the biggest crush on her. She was in My Cousin Vinny. She won an Oscar. Marissa Tomei. That's it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was one of my favorite movies, My Cousin Vinny.
Oh my God, I love that movie.
Hell yeah. All right. Tell us something that people might not know about you. From all my other side things I do a lot of claymation. I make bobbleheads and I do clay figures. Okay.
I don't really showcase that on Facebook or anything, but that's kind of like one of my things. If I'm really bored, I'll fiddle around with clay and create stuff.
Have you ever made me out of clay?
No, I haven't made any in recent years, but when I worked at my one job, I actually made everybody in my office a bobblehead. So
that's what it is.
But I do want to, because we're gonna have to make some action figures for our new show and stuff. But I'll make a Tweezy the Don one. That'd be good. Now they don't look the great. I mean, they're not like you're not gonna go to the Cardinals game and see one of my bobbleheads. So, it's not like that. It's
It's what you can do.
It's not my best suit, okay? I enjoy doing it though.
Hey, long as you doing it, man. So, what can we do to put the St. Louis area in a better position for entertainment for the business?
I think it's communication. I think I know people all can't work together, but I mean, if we all can just kind of communicate and kind of help promote what other people are doing. Even if I don't, there's a director out there I don't really like the way he handles with people, and everybody in this room knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But he's making films in St. Louis, and so I'm glad that there's somebody out there like him. And
yes.
if any of my friends want to work or whatever, I more than welcome them to go work with the guy if that's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I personally would not partner up with this guy because just how he handles. I don't like the way he handles his crew, but I'm like I said, I think it's if we all kind of communicate and all work on different projects and people can all kind of do that at least.
Yeah.
I think that's a way to do it.
Yeah, just don't sabotage each other, pretty much.
Yeah.
We don't have to like each other, But at the same time, we don't have to break down each other because of that dislike.
Right.
Right.
And I think they're doing some kind of movie awards next month. I heard, and more power to them. That's great because I know a lot of people that were at our Moem Fest are in that as well, and so I'm glad that that's going on.
All day. Shout out to them, man. All right, man. We're gonna go to another break real quick. But before we go to that break, you know what I'm about to ask you. Whose mic is this?
Dustin D.
Yeah.
Ain't not a woman too, though I don't dress like you. Still getting ready, I have a hard time on what to choose. Ain't not a woman too, hey, I'm just asking. Where is the Jordan when the lady needs passage? Ain't not a woman too, though I don't dress like you. Still getting ready, I have a hard time on what to choose. Ain't not a woman too, hey, I'm just asking. Where is the Jordan when the lady needs passage? They say I have passion, but where's my class at? I show them class, then they be like, where's the passion? I show them that, cause that in the back is a fact. I act how I act, cause I'm made to adapt. This world for this girl is no longer the right one. She turns to the pen and the pad to write one. One where her clothes don't make a list of a lady. And if she dresses femme, it doesn't make her your baby. There ain't enough pills to make her feel in this life. She only knows it's real if the feeling is right. She chooses clothes to reflect what she's feeling inside. But on the outside, it looks like she's ready to hide. She's ready to ride, you can tell by the look in the eyes. She's ready to die, you can tell by feeling the vibe. She's ready for life, catch her outside on a board at night. Hanging out with the beats that's gonna do her right. They treat her like a guy, like one of their own. And swears to this day she got balls of stone. Provide for a ride for an electric Tesla. And vow on their life they won't let nobody mess with her. Ain't not a woman too, though I don't dress like you. Still getting ready, I have a hard time on what to choose. Ain't not a woman too, hey, I'm just asking. Where's the Jordan when the lady needs passage? Ain't not a woman too, though I don't dress like you. Still getting ready, I have a hard time on what to choose. Ain't not a woman too, hey, I'm just asking. Where's the Jordan when the lady needs passage? Where is the Jordan when a lady needs passage? Hey, I'm just asking. A tisket, a tasket. Put it all in the basket. Then call it fashion. Supposed to represent this in marriage? Husband and carriage? Be above average? Why? When most of my instincts are savage, I'm still lavishly living my plan C. No plan B needed. I was planning me. Got our heads in NFL cause I now got D. I was skipping kitchen till I was never B. I was always A's and can't remember days. She was on drugs, don't believe what she says. I had all of these questions but nobody asked them. Going through the concepts with no way to grasp them. You're feeling me right, okay, my feeling is nice. But do I have to dress to impress for you to be feeling me right? Just catch that last part. Hope you did. Say what? That got me fucked up. Ain't not a woman too.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We are back on Whose Mic Is This? And we here with fucking Dustin Diggs, man.
Oh yeah.
Talk to us about STL Live, brother.
So, a lot of the people that are part of like my, I guess we call them the AU and core group, we all started a show called STL Live in 2019, and it was going great. It was going great, folks. We were doing this comedy skit. It was live comedy, and then all of a sudden, the whole world decided they're going to shut down for a while. And so, basically, after that, we kind of really didn't really have the momentum that we had at one time before that, and but it was a comedy show. We did live skits, and then we kind of went into like kind of the fake commercials, the fake kind of little short films. And if anybody that attended the Moen Fest a couple months ago, we showcased a lot of those old skits at the Moen Fest. But it was a show that I created. STL Live, I did a show back in 2005 on UPN 46, if anybody remembers that channel. And but back then it was comedy and like a makeover segment plus music videos and different things like that. But we just turned into doing a comedy thing. And so basically once I started doing my podcast in 2020, I was kind of done with the STL Live, but we had 70 skits that were just sitting there. They're sitting there on a hard drive. Obviously, you can find them on the internet, but they really didn't get like the reach that I thought they should get. And Impact and Tweezy the Don, I guess from the Moen Fest, everybody was loving the skits. They kind of approached me and they wanted to do their own spin on their own comedy thing. So this would be their own thing, their own take on comedy. And so I said, well, if you guys want these old episodes and these old short films we did, I give them out to everyone. But you guys are more welcome to take them and put your label on it and make put part of your new show that you're launching, and that's kind of what happened.
Okay, all right. So with the STL Live, what was your very first skit?
My very first skit. Oh, it was Dance Club Daddy, and so Shane Foster wrote it, and I was a guy at a strip club, and Shane was sitting next to me, and all of a sudden the girl comes and she starts dancing on the pole, and this is in front of a live audience too, and the guy next to me is like telling this girl how to do it right and do it, and eventually the funny punchline of the whole thing was that that's her dad. And he's kind of like a dad coach, and he's coming to a strip club to kind of teach her how to do it right or whatever, but then the dad gets kicked out by a security guard. But,
wow.
But that was the first skit I was in.
And that's STL Live.
Yes.
All right, man. Talk to us about failures, man.
So, failures is really close to my heart. Back when I was in my 20s, late 20s, turning in my 30s, I was doing kind of like, not really doing creative stuff anymore, other than I had my own office space where I was making corporate videos and doing videos for clients. And I was doing pretty well, being in my late 20s, I was making some good money and stuff like that. But I really didn't have that. I had this like empty feeling that I was kind of like depressed all the time, and I wasn't really doing anything. And my buddy says, you need to start making movies again. We need to start doing stuff with all this equipment that you're accumulating, all this corporate stuff. And he came up with a show idea called Failures, and it's basically, in a nutshell, Always Sunny in Philadelphia / workaholics. Three guys that always try to get rich quick schemes, trying to make money. So every episode they fail, and they go back down to start at point A again.
Right.
We start filming it. This is 2012, and then on the 5th episode, after we wrapped the 5th episode, a week later, my buddy he passed away in a car accident. He was the creator of the show, and kind of went through some dark times after that. But when he passed, we were able to film episode 6 and finish out the season, which is on DVD. But I sat down and when he died, and I wrote these 3 episodes. And I'm telling you what, I'm not the greatest writer in the world, but for whatever reason, I just sat and these things came to me in this script, and it just all made sense and all flowed into each other, and all made, something happened in scene 1 kind of finishes with the ending scene. It was like a perfect work of art, and I've always wanted to make these 3 episodes because I felt like, not to get too spiritual, but like there's just something like in me when I wrote those. It was not the norm for me or whatever. And 10 years later, we played Failures at the Moen Fest, and now my buddy Clayton, God bless his heart, he's going to be executive producer with me, and we're going to fund 3 more episodes and make those 3 episodes this year.
All right. I like that, man. All right. So, I know you kind of talked about it, but explain that a little more, man. You said, because I want you to explain it a little bit more, because I believe that when people pass, they energy coming to us if we're connected like that.
Yes, and that's kind of like how I felt, because I felt that feeling of not being alone when I was sitting there, when I was alone, sitting there writing those episodes out. And sadly I don't, it's 10 years later, I can't say I think about him every day, but I always stop once in a while and think of like, man, if Grant was still here, like he would really think this party at Clayton's house was fun or this Moem event, you know, I thought about him for a second there when we were watching Failures, how he would kind of like be excited about this film fest that we did, and so yeah, I do feel like sometimes he is with me, and I feel that way with what you're saying with like a lot of people that have passed. You've kind of I don't know, it just does something to your soul.
Yeah. Getting a little choked up over here. Hey, so we're going to get into some, no, we ain't going to do that. I got another question for you, man. What advice do you have for people that's pursuing entertainment, movies, scripts, acting?
Well, somebody on my podcast said something the other day, but it's, first off, when I noticed about my success I've had with the Daily Dirt with Dustin Diggs, it's consistency. That's number one. And the other thing is, a guy said on my podcast, because he showed his film 88mm Productions, and it was the best film. I mean, we all can agree it was the best film at the film festival. But I was like, how do you keep your crew and keep these people around and keep people like, how do you become a leader like you are and having all these people help you? And he said to me, he said, because I finished what I say I'm going to do. And he's like, even if the film was going to be a piece of dog shit, he's like, I'm still going to finish this piece of dog shit and put it out there because I said I was. And so do what you say you're going to do. That's number one. Don't be telling everybody you're going to put an album out, and then 6 months later people are going to be asking, well, where's this album at? You're going to lose credibility. So, you know, if you're going to tell the universe that you're going to do something, do it. Even if it's a piece of dog shit.
Yeah.
Do it.
That dog shit, hey, you got to start somewhere.
Right.
So you have proof that, like, hey, I was like that, but I'm like this now.
I'm a person, like, when somebody shows me their work of art, I'm not judgmental on how good it is. For me, like, I see like a film or like a music video that you did or a song that you did, and I'm like, well, it took a lot of time to make that song. To go in the studio, get it recorded, and then find the locations and make the music video. So for me, it's, you know, I just know the work it takes to make that.
Yeah.
And the sacrifice. I mean, fuck, dude.
Yeah. Especially on a consistent basis.
Right.
Yes, I'm with you on that, man. And with that being said, would that be the only, so consistency, do what you say you're going to do?
That's, I mean, that, you know, and be nice to people. I mean, don't be humble, you know, don't take shit for granted, you know. I think a lot of my opportunities have come because sometimes I gotta swallow my pride, man. So, you know, I get pissed off like everybody else, but I don't show it, you know. I'll just take one in the chin, and then that's, sometimes you gotta take a couple on the chin, you know.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I like that, man. But I think I'm more. I take a few.
Vent out a little on Facebook, but that's you though. That's what you want to do. For me, I don't do that. I don't. Yeah.
I got my, well, I haven't done it in a long time because it's kind of, you know, I was dealing with a lot of bullshit.
No, you do. I deal with a little bit of bullshit, but I guarantee that you deal with a shit ton of bullshit with the stuff that you do. I bet. Oh, I bet it.
But it's my fault though, and it's my thing. I've been in the game. It's only been 6 years, so it's kind of when you say only, you know what I'm saying. That's you learning. You still learning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. So that's where that was at. But when it all comes down, you know what I'm saying. It's really about, to me, it's about understanding where you at, who you are, and what you worth.
That's good. Yeah, your worth. Know what you're worth. Yeah, that I can say that when it comes to when I first started doing my corporate videos and stuff. Like, I would be like, "Oh, I'll shoot your video for $200," and then you'd be pissed off the whole fucking time. You're getting fucked the whole time. They're taking advantage of you, and then your work's gonna be shit anyways because you're rushing to get it done because you're only getting paid $200. So I would just not do stuff for like $50 or $100 and wait for that big corporate check to come in. It's like, you know, a couple grand or whatever for it.
Oh, dang.
You know? And that's kind of like how I was.
Oh, dang. And that's smart, goddamn it.
Yeah.
All right, man. We about to no, actually, yeah, we gonna go to a break because when we come back, we finna start playing the Whose Mic Is This games, man. So we gonna lighten it up a little bit, man. But before we go, whose mic is this?
Can you dig it? Dustin Diggs, boys.
One day I'll be exposed as I travel down this road, reaping everything I sow. I already know they ain't sticking to the code. In my city it get cold, only home without your cold. I already know how your friends turn to foes. All these women on this dough, gotta watch your back though. I already know one day I'll be exposed as I travel down this road, reaping everything I sow. I already know. One day I gotta go, so I'd rather stand 10 toes before I let them see me fold. Cause I already know, it's time to make it gold. Diamonds in blue cold, I'm perfect as my soul. Cause I already know, it don't matter which one thicker. Blood cross you with the quickness, meant to leave you in the trenches. I already know, thoughts are worse than the affliction. It's the drugs and the addiction that's controlling their decisions. I already know. One day I'll be exposed as I travel down this road, reaping everything I sow. I already know they ain't sticking to the code. In my city it get cold, only home without your cold. I already know how your friends turn to foes. All these women on this dough, gotta watch your back though. I already know one day I'll be exposed as I travel down this road, reaping everything I sow. Ain't no loyalty or no trust. They'll cross you for some bucks. Talk about you cause you up, but come around you like it's love. Like I ain't get it out the trenches, I ain't get it out the mud. It don't matter if they blood, your so-called brother or your cousin. History shows the ones closer be the ones that set you up. In the world of web but last, so I can't let it catch me up. They just mad at the fact that I'm past catching up. Judging books by the pages, treating everyone as such. One day I'll be exposed as I travel down this road, reaping everything I sow. I already know they ain't sticking to the code. In my city it get cold, only home without your cold. I already know how your friends turn to foes. All these women on this dough, gotta watch your back though. I already know one day I'll be exposed as I travel down this road, reaping everything I sow. I already know.
Yeah. All right, we are back, man, on Whose Mic Is This. I hope y'all tuned in and got some questions in and got to know Dustin Diggs a little bit more, man. But we about to lighten it up a little bit, man. Are you familiar with the verses?
Like,
The music verses.
Oh, yeah, where they would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's that concept. Hold on, let me turn this down a little bit.
My music knowledge is probably not going to be where your music knowledge is if we're talking music here, but
No, this is something totally different. Okay. So just think of as far as when I say all-time verses, it's not going to be necessarily music. Okay. I'm going to put it in categories, and you give me two of them that you will put at the top of those.
Okay.
So the first one will be horror movies.
I like People Under the Stairs. I love People Under the Stairs. I just watched that again the other day. Wes Craven.
I remember that.
That movie, Ving Rhames is in that. If you guys, the guy from Pulp Fiction. It's just fun. I like Waxworks is a fun horror movie. Those are my two favorite horror movies. It's just I don't really like the gore. It just doesn't really do anything for me. To make a horror movie is more fun for me than to watch it.
Yeah.
By the way. I'm not really into watching horror movies, but I like it's fun to make it.
Yeah. People Under the Stairs, I remember that. That was a good one. That's some wild shit.
Yeah.
Fool. Like, what the fuck is going on?
None, fool.
Ain't fucking with these motherfuckers under the Who is these motherfuckers?
Right.
I gotta go watch that now, man. Cause
that woman in it. Oh my god, she's a great villain. Oh my
man.
God. Oh shit, dude. Yeah.
All right. The next category: favorite real animal character.
Favorite real animal character, like
like a Benji, Lassie.
Oh, Man, my answer, I think I used to watch Benji when I was a kid. Remember my mom we used to watch that. I remember there's one Benji episode that he was up in the mountains and he was saving a bunch of foxes or something. And one of the hawks come down and grabs the one of the foxes, baby foxes, and takes off with it. I started crying and I was bawling and my mom was like, "It's just a movie. It's just a movie." And I'm like, "Well, what do you think happened to that fox? Or what happened to the fox?" And my mom had explained that it was just a movie. They probably got the fox, down in the next field. I'm sure the hawk released the fox nicely in the next field.
Right.
And but I was crying like a little baby when I watched that movie.
Bro, Benji.
Old
boy.
Benji, yeah.
I remember Benji, boy. That was the shit.
Yeah. So,
What's the other? What's your the
another one?
second
Another another.
Did you fuck with Mr. Ed?
Yeah, I've never seen the reruns on that shit, Mr. Ed. What's some other animal ones? Oh man. Oh, I remember I used to watch the movie Milo and Otis. Remember?
Yes.
Remember? Okay, so found out later. This is true. You can check this up on the internet, but that was made in Japan, and so they actually went through like 3 dogs and 4 cats or whatever, and like the one shot where the cat falls off the cliff.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera just cuts away. Well, dude, like, and then one of the shots is the dog's wrestling with a bear, and then if you watch the movie and you put it in pause, the bear grabs the dog and like wraps its neck, and there's no way that dog. So these people in Japan made this animal kid movie, but they killed off a bunch of dogs and cats making it.
Wow, are you serious?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Check it out. Milo and Otis, look it up on it's all over the internet. Yeah.
Wow. So which one was your favorite character?
Benji. I would think they,
Damn. Wow. All right. Where we at? Wrestler.
Oh, it's Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan for sure. The other one would probably be Andre the Giant. I remember watching WrestleMania 3 when I was a kid, and when Hulk Hogan slammed Andre the Giant, that was
monumental.
That was like a moment that you don't forget.
Yeah, that was monumental. I remember that. It's two. When I was a kid, it was 2 things I remember. That, well, it probably was 3, but it was that. It was when either Junkyard Dog or Ric Flair, either they both was fighting, but somebody was bleeding.
Yeah, that was Ric Flair was bleeding. Yeah.
Who was he fighting? Was he fighting the Junkyard Dog or was he fighting somebody else?
Was it like the beef? I thought it was like Mr. Perfect or Beefcake something. They were using a razor or something, weren't they? I don't remember. That was a little bit.
Brutus Beefcake.
Brutus.
Yeah, Beefcake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beefcake or whatever.
I
don't know. That was a little bit. So I kind of watched more wrestling all the way up till I was like 12. So I was like 92, and I kind of stopped watching wrestling. But now I kind of got back into it with my buddy Mike.
Okay. Yeah, I stopped once I figured out that it was soap opera shit. Even though it was athletic, I still believe that it's athletic. You got to be an athlete. So I ain't taking nothing away from that. But I actually believed that I was fooled. I thought it was.
They get so wrestlers. They get so sensitive over that shit. That fake shit. I was like,
I get it, but I mean.
But see, my thing is like I like watching the wrestling matches with doing the athletic stuff. I don't like watching this. It's raw. Let's go on the mic and the guy talks for like 15 minutes about WrestleMania coming up in like 5 months. Like I want to see like them doing the acrobatics and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
getting it in for real.
Right.
With your back hurting.
Right.
All these motherfuckers.
Like, how the fuck they do that? Yeah.
All day. All right, man. We finna go right into the last game. We call it situations.
Okay.
You got 3 situations.
Oh shit.
You can't have any more. One situation you can't have it anymore. The next situation you can have it one more time. And then the other one is you can have it forever. All right.
Well, the last one's vagina, folks. That's an easy one. I'll work backwards. Vagina.
Well, I ain't give you the option yet,
Oh,
man.
sorry. I was just thinking of vagina. I'm sorry.
He's like, oh no.
Sorry.
This ain't. Well, it might have something to do with vagina.
Okay.
But so your options are laugh, love, elevate.
Ooh. I don't need to love anymore because it sounds cheesy, but I've been with my girlfriend now for 17 years, and she's my rock, and she puts up with all my shit, and I don't think if I was single I would be able to find another woman. I'm gonna be honest here on this podcast, just because I don't think somebody could put up with my kind of nuances and all my bullshit. So I don't need to love anymore because I love her.
Mm-hmm.
One more time, elevates, and then laugh all the time because that gets you through life. I think that's the best drug there is laughter. So
All day. I love the answers,
and
man.
vagina.
And vagina. Remember that. Hey, Dustin Diggs, man, I appreciate you being on the show. We're going to have to do this again.
Yeah.
Man, we just kicked it on Super Bowl Sunday. We about to get up out of here. Before we leave, man, let them know where they can find you at and everything you got going on.
Well, check out the Irish Night Network. There's a big group of us that's part of that, and check out Hard Hitter Films. And so that's our new company that we're going to be launching. We're going to be making the big announcement here in a couple of weeks, but we're going to be making some cool films. We're getting in the film game, and first one's going to be Failures, and then actually we're filming right now. We have the behind-the-scenes kind of documentary called The Hard Hitters, which is going to be kind of like to show this journey. Maybe this journey goes to nothing. Maybe a year from now.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, but it'll be a fun documentary because the thing that's be fun, is we do these great events like Moam and things and work with Tweezy. But when we're all hanging out, though, I mean, do we not laugh our asses off? And it's such a good entertainment time. All of us is hanging out. I mean, I think we could share that joy with others, and so we're going to be just kind of filming all this stuff from here on out and see what happens with the footage. But that's the two things. And then my buddy Clayton, so I'm a team leader on this Hard Hitter Films, and he's a team leader, and he got a couple ideas with this Monopoly movie and some other things, some other crazy ideas. So Clayton's gonna be making some films too, so it'll be exciting.
All right, we're gonna have to get Clay on whose mic is this, man.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, but today, whose mic is this?
Dustin Diggs.
Yeah, till next time, y'all, we out.
She gon' leave with the money, go and leave you in your feelings, bro. I ain't gon' say I told you so. type shit. Won't be the one that told you so. No bullshit gon' hold me though. This shit it before, then been here before. The exes, the O's, the friends, the foes, the odds that go against me. Murder the streets in first degree. Talking shit, but action sweet. I know you don't want this more than me. Ain't gon' say I told you so. A lot of people know me though. All my life the city, bro. But niggas didn't believe me, bro. Ain't gon' say I told you so. I show you. So I ain't gon' say I told you so. I show you. So you ain't gon' say I told you so. Don't fuck with that sleazy hoe. She gon' leave where the money go and leave you in your feelings, bro. Feelings, bro. Say no more.